in the top 4 already, on LAN, online, whatever it is. So he's a guy with that much experience that you want in a tournament like this. So I'm curious to see how these guys come out. I'll see that, obviously, you have guys like Red9 who've been around, Dazed has been around,
right,
but none of them have that same level of experience that he would to help kind of carry you through. So again, I think there's a lot of unanswered questions for me when it comes to this Remedy team. I'm excited to see how they kick off this map.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say Hefe could have been, maybe an IGL role. Maybe he could have been, kind of leading the troops. And now who's going to fill in that role? If I had to assume, it's probably going to be Red9 or Dazed, since those are the core 2 of this Remedy roster, have been in, this roster for quite some time. But we'll find out, and it's getting off hot and heavy. We're going to have that 3v3 over on Overlook. You got the 1v1 that's taking place on Bravo. We're going to get to see our new member Tanks, see what he's all about. Well, quick as that, he gets taken down. Matter of fact, Aches falls right behind him. 2 members that we were going to question, and already we do see Dazed as well. So Tidy's going to go ahead and clean that up. And Old Men, off to a flawless start. I hope this isn't how the series goes.
Yeah, that's as quick as I can go. My first round back, and it's already over 32 seconds. Old Men looking like the team that, again, we probably would expect coming from a roster like this, right? You have so much slaying power, so much playmaking ability between guys like Shock. All 4 of these players are playmakers, right? For what it's worth. We've seen that time and time again. And in 4v4, like I said, teamwork still matters so much. But I think in 4v4, individual skill is able to shine through so much more, right? There's one less Lancer hitting you from the side, right? One less piece of team fire coming in. The individual playmaking ability now in the game is higher than it's ever been. So I think a team like this is poised to do very, very well just between some of the players they have on this roster. And you can see, man, the skill. They just mowed them right over on the initial.
And it can make or break you. For example, Tidy and Dazed, they're going to face off on Bravo. And let's say Old Men wins this top fight once again, right? And of course, if Tidy wins down low, that could be it. Shock again, off to a great start. Looks clinical at this point. Red9 and Tanks will fall. Ace now going to be isolated on Overlook. Meanwhile, though, A is wide open for the taking. And as Ace falls, that's exactly where Old Men are going to go. Still, the standout between Tidy and Dazed is underway. But Dazed is about to be in a very, very bad situation. He's going to be Lancer from the side, and he's also got Tidy up ahead.
Some great team fire coming through from Old Men. Obviously, they're not going to get the trip cap on this initial, but they are still taking control. It's going to be now 3 members down for Remedy. You can see Old Men starting to move forward closer and closer. They're getting that cap on the B. They're going to have control of the map. They're going to have control of the objectives, and now Remedy has to make a play off spawn. You're seeing Ace try everything he can as his teammate falls next to him, but this is not looking good for Remedy.
Yeah, not good at all, and Remedy's going to have to step it up. This is now the second round, 2 different sides, and man, for Old Men, they're not slowing down that Bull Talk, raining down Hellfire as DeToX will clean up the rest. And 1 minute and 8 seconds. We're just under 2 minutes in the first 2 rounds. That's a rare sight. So at this point, Old Men, you couldn't look any better. And again, Ryan, you said it and I said it. I think everybody kind of is expecting it. Old Men is the strongest team, if not, or probably one of the strongest teams, if not the strongest team. I'm curious to see how Double R is going to go, but they're definitely proven why they deserve to be a pro team.
Yeah, on paper, this is by far the strongest team in the LCQ, right? This is again, I'll say it again, a team of players that have all been placing within the top 4 for pretty much the last year or so. So definitely a team that I think should hopefully cruise right through this LCQ. So far, that's what they're doing, right? These 2 rounds have been nothing short of dominance. We're going to see those secondaries now start to be built. We know how strong the Retro Lancer is right now in the meta. So looking forward to seeing what they have in store. See if Remedy maybe can make an adjustment on this initial, maybe a different piece of utility. You can see them starting to be much more defensive, right? They don't want to just get run over. And now you're going to see Old Men start to take control. Shock very quickly realizes that he doesn't have to fight over at the U. Now he can go over to help his teammates at B in a much slower played round in the beginning. You can see now that clearly what Old Men did in the first 2 rounds has had an effect on Remedy.
Oh, 100%. And they back right off, right? But this is the thing. Scared money doesn't make money, right? And at this point in time, Remedy's going to have to find a way to continue to push Old Men. But this is a new strategy, as you said. We'll see if it works out. For Tanks, though, he is going to have that retro, and I expect him to be getting those crosses and doing them very well. As for Old Men, they have yet to pick it up. They've been prioritizing getting that overextension, which is now successful, but it's hard to maintain, right? And at this point in time, Player 4 is going to rotate over to the Alpha. We have Dazed, who's going to be roaming around in mid, and I believe he has been spotted. He's about to be in engagement for DeToX onto Red9, and Red9 will win that. So at this point in time, Old Men has a decent lead, but the round is still going on, so Remedy is still in it.
Yeah, you can see Dazed trying to figure out where his move's going to be made next. Looks like Tidy wasn't able to spot him. Now he's a chance for 1v1 versus Shock. Shock getting nice and aggressive in the feed. Tidy's going to get a kill, but a couple players are going to fall on each end. Again, that neutral hill still not quite capped. Looks like Remedy might be inching more and more towards it, but just like that, the kill feed starts to light up blue again. You see a player down over at B, a good revive coming through from Old Men. This could be what they need to take that neutral hill. Of course, they're already up about 30 points in the scoreline. To get closer and closer to that halfway mark, they're starting to build that lead.
Something that I'm noticing from Old Men that has had a big impact in these fights is the fact that, you know, you watch Tidy and Demise, they're staying together, right? And I think that's kind of spoken throughout all of Old Men is there's always a 2v1 that I'm watching or a 3v2 of some sort, and Remedy kind of seems to be very spread out. Right there, Aches, right? Aches caught out. Now, we do have that crossfire from Dazed, which is going to be beneficial, but Remedy really needs to start sticking together, getting those pickups, much like Red 9 just did onto Aches. That's hugely important, but the overextension is there. Old Men playing the objective game very well, but my worry now is the fact that Shock is going to be isolated in the 1v2, but if he pulls this off, this round is pretty much over.
Looks like he has help coming in from the backside. You see Tidy on the pinch now, so these two players in Remedy are pinned between what's going to be two Lancers, and I think both actually do go down, so some fantastic teamwork coming through from Old Men as they're about to cross that 200-point mark. That's now 3 members down for Remedy. The final member, Aches, will get the decap onto A, but you can see the other 2 hills, right, being capped by Old Men. Now they're going to continue to pull away. You're going to see Shock get that down, obviously leave the player to finish himself off. This should be an Old Men round very, very quickly. Yeah,
100%. Unless an Optic Special comes through, but Remedy's got a lot of map to cover, and they really don't have a lot of time. 7 will fall, and that's going to solidify the round. No way they get on Alpha or Bravo at this point. And look, at already the pressure is there for Old Men. They're not going to let them breathe. They're just going to take them out. Shock up close. You have the Lancers coming out from afar. And again, you know, I highlight the teamwork from Old Men. That's the biggest thing. They're getting their revives. They're getting that Lancer fire. When Shock was isolated on the home hill of Remedy, you know, I thought he was going to be in trouble. Now he's going to be in 1v2. He's isolated. But like you said, someone came with that Lancer fire ready to gun him down, get those knocks, get that chip damage for the chunk in the end. So I'm impressed. I really am from Old Men. We're not seeing that teamwork from Remedy, and that's having an effect. And they're going to place a torque bow down where they've been getting destroyed, and they had to back off that last round. Ryan, this is not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, they must have some kind of trick under their sleeve, because so far, every time they go to fight over at that U, it has been the Old Men show. So now you're putting yourself in a position to potentially give up not only the map position, but also a power up. And we're heading closer to the second half, where that hill rotates over to that very same side. Looks like there should be a potential flank coming through. You see that player, that blue little Oracle boat coming through on the backside. You see the pinch that is going to be Shock. That's going to be a big Lancer coming through that Remedy probably did not expect. Those are the kind of plays you can see now in 4v4, right? There's a little less lane coverage coming through, so you can have a player make a very, very heads-up, sneaky play like that. Beautiful stuff coming through from Shock and Old Men. And just like you said, man, they've been dominating this fight. Now they get to come out with a torque bow.
Yeah, and this is looking like another domination. Torque bow is just going to be getting that splash damage. Remedy will get a break, but for how long? Even if they stay alive at this point, they are not going to thrive. And again, after, I mean, really time after time, they just continue to get dropped off. As a torque bow will have an effect on Red 9. He's gone. Aches is also, DeToX actually got the finish onto Tanks, who was on the ground. But you might as well use it while you can, as the round is over. It's a quick 4-0 for Old Men. And, man, it's looking rough. Like you said, that flank, though, you don't see that too often on training grounds, man. That's a long journey to go around.
I like that play, man. Like I said, I'll keep harping on how much I like 4v4, because those are the kind of times where you can make the game a little different than it used to be, right? You can start to make those plays that before. I mean, when you have 5 players in the map, there's just so much spread out coverage. You can very easily call out something like that, very easy catch them with a Lancer. But right now they're putting all their eggs in that basket for the torque bow, right? Obviously, you see that bow go down, you want to think, all right, we got to put all of our 4 players over there to make sure we win that fight. That's when you don't expect a player like Shock to come on the back end and just absolutely drill them. So incredible stuff coming through. One more round is all they need. This has been just a dominant map number 1, which, by the way, is on Remedy's map pick.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. I mean, this is not a start you want during the last chance qualifier, but it is what it is. And we'll see if there's a comeback potential. But I think at this time, Old Men, they have the momentum. Why should they not? They're up 4-0. They've been winning every engagement, every fight. But maybe there is some light at the end of the tunnel. Shock will drop DeToX as well. And maybe it's time that Remedy did, in fact, wake up. Hey, after all, it is early for these gamers, Ryan.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. But anything before like 7 p.m. at this point is considered early. So, yeah, I think good morning to everyone, I guess I'll say. But a much better initial coming through from Remedy. You can see they played it a little slower, right? They didn't necessarily jump right up and meet them at the U. They kind of let the boys on Old Men make that move first and then react to it. So good stuff coming through from them. Now they have the neutral hill. Now you see the torque bow in the hands of Tanks. So now we'll see what Old Men can do on the retake. Of course, a lot against them because they have that power up and waiting for them. Looks like they might be actually pushing for a potential overextension instead, which obviously, if you know the Torpo being over towards E, right, you want to get as far away from it as possible. Obviously, if Tanks can hit some good shots across the map, he can still rack up kills with it. Oh man, they got to make a move soon.
Yeah, I'm surprised they spread themselves so thin. You know, they're almost setting up for if one plan fails, maybe another one will work out. Tanks is not connecting though, and this is going to be a critical point. If Tanks cannot connect any of these shots, that is just going to be a huge waste. It does go well though for Remedy on the other side as Shock and Demise do fall, so at least at this point the overextension is in for Remedy, but again, Tanks is going to be isolated by himself. Great shot, though, across the cover onto DeToX. And now Tidy is going to be in a 1v2, and he's going to fall as well. This was a lights-out round for Remedy. They've been looking so good. Old Man's still in it, but Remedy has such a good lead. I don't see them blowing it.
Yeah, it's a massive lead. You're going to have to see basically some miracle pulled out. Old Man's going to basically get one more good push out of this. You can see Shock starting to move his way forward, but Aches and the rest of Remedy are going to be set up well. It's going to be the first member down. This just gets tougher and tougher for Old Men to potentially take this round. We're already past the 210 point mark. They got the 2 hills. They got even a meat shield watching as well, so things are looking good if you're a fan of Remedy.
Here comes that push from Old Men. They're going to give it their all. And again, a little bit of a split push. Player 5 needs to win this fight. Tidy needs to take down Dazed, and that's where the start is really going to happen. But DeToX falls up top. And now it's up to player 3, and it's just not going to happen. Remedy was winning their fights where they need to, and that's one round. Look, it's a start. I know it's not a lot to look at, but it is a start. They won the initial, they won mid-map, they won late game. So, hey, that was a great, great round for them. Let's just see if they can repeat it.
Absolutely. A much, much, much better played round. You saw them get the initial, get control of the map, and more importantly, keep it, right? That's the most impressive part, is making sure that you maintain that map control. You see that shock grenade placed over on the side of Cog, Incend grenade over on the side of Swarm, and now you're going to see an additional Boltok get placed. Again, not going to have a ton of impact over, of course, at that Torpo fight. You can see on that scoreboard, man, DeToX, 14 kills, 9 assists, having one hell of a map over for Old Man. It's only been 5 rounds, right? So 14 kills in 5 rounds is quite a bit.
Yeah, DeToX is just such a great player, right? And he complements this roster so very well, and that's why he's going to be leading the charge into this Torpo fight. Remedy, once again, though, not really wanting to challenge him, but I hope the timidness doesn't get the best of him. It looks like Tidy is going to take down Red Knight, and Aches and Dazed will also fall as well. So a lot of bodies hitting the floor, and this is a moment where Tanks really needs to hold his own. Unfortunately, he's by himself now. His teammate was Lancered out, and that's going to be a Torpo going to Shock, a player you do not want to give the Torpo so he can connect with it left and right. And now Remedy's got to make a decision, and it seems as if they've already made it. 7 and 9 are quickly hightailing it over to F.
See, Red 9 has Death of the Spear. DeToX is going to be there to get 1. DeToX is going to be there to get 2, and that's going to stop that push right dead in its tracks. Old Men very, very quickly thwarting any opportunity the boys on Remedy had. So now you're going to see them off of spawn make a decision. Do they go for the OE yet again? Do they try to push over towards the neutral hill? Of course, you have Shock with just a beautiful angle right here to potentially pick off all of these players with the bow. This is a tough, tough task right now for Remedy, right? When you give up that neutral hill and the power weapon at the same time. Doesn't matter if you're 4v4, 5v5, I don't care what the settings are, right? It is just a very, very tall task to break through.
Oh, 100%. And man, it's going to be... Well, Shock just dropped. Now, if the pickup can't happen, they could be in trouble here. Red 9 knows with Shock being down, the Torpo is out, but he's getting Lancer in the back and unfortunately can't make it happen, but that was the right play. He needed to get in there, try and take out the Torpo, but unfortunately fell a little bit short. Now, the good thing, I guess, if you had to pick a good thing in this situation, is Shock only has 2 more torch to his name, so he's only going to be able to use it 2 more times, but that could have a tremendous impact. With Old Men getting so close to 200, Ryan, this might be all she wrote.
Yeah, especially when you have one of the power weapons that has that kind of explosive splash damage, right? So even if the players do try to jump into the neutral hill for some kind of break, right? Shock can pretty much just lob or stick torques right in there. And yeah, this one's getting tougher and tougher, right? He's a player that they got to take out soon, but you can see, obviously, Shock being a veteran player, is just staying alive, playing it slow, throwing his life away, strikes at the right time. There's going to be 1. Tidy's going to get 2. Shock is going to be traded out, but as Tanks falls, that is going to do it. Old Men, a very, very dominant performance, 5-1 here on Training Grounds.
Whew, that's a start, is it not? Man, I got to tell you, Old Men came out the gate swinging. They want to be a pro team, right? They want to be in that pro league. and be on top. And, you know, I kind of echo the sentiment that you said in the beginning. I really do feel if Old Man becomes a pro team, if they qualify today, man, they could really be a force to reckon with. 16-10, 5 deaths for DeToX. A phenomenal start from him. He was slaying out when he needed to. He was fantastic off of the initials, and he was a big thorn in the side for Remedy, who struggled quite a bit. And you know what? That round that they won, you know, in the first round of the second half, they looked really good. And their teamwork was actually pretty on point. But what was the biggest factor in all of those 6 rounds? Because that's all we got. Was the fact that Remedy wasn't winning their gunfights, plain and simple, right? That was all Old Men. You can see that apparent in the deaths, which I think across the board was pretty much symmetrical at like, what, 5 deaths, something like that, or right around 5. So overall, winning those fights, hugely important. You mentioned, Ryan, in the beginning, 4v4, individual skill, winning those gunfights. It's so important now.
No, it certainly is, and you can see players more often have those kind of takeover maps, right? You saw that DeToX had just a crazy stat line, right, within just 6 rounds, and that's what makes it exciting, man. You can see just the dominance, and as I say, DeToX, you see a clip of him just lighting up the kill feed not once but twice, and that's what I love to watch, man. That's what makes this fun. You can see that obviously Old Men completely dominated that initial over at the U. There was one round, obviously, Remedy did a good job, but at that point, too, you also put the bow down, so you have to be that much more perfect. And then if you give it up once, again, you see how hard it is to push that side of the map, especially when there is a power weapon in place. So, yeah man, Old Men just, they were doing it all, man. They made that one look easy.
Yeah, 100%. And that, I think that was my worry with Remedy. Granted, you know, they looked off during the last week. Actually, we didn't even have a chance to see them. They had their chance to qualify. They were at the upper echelon in points, right? I think they were in 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken, right behind that of Fire and Ice and Hive. But they fell short during, I think, the quarterfinals. They didn't make it the semifinals. We didn't have a chance to watch them. And if they would have made it the semifinals, they would have had a very real chance to already be qualified. And maybe it was because of that these roster changes happened. Maybe that's why Hefe left. I don't know. We don't know what happens. It gets all jumbled, like you said, the revolving door. But not having Hefe on that roster made an impact. It really did. Would they have beat Old Men? Chances are probably not, because Old Men has beat Remedy in the past, right? So who knows how it would have went, but it's just a tough hit to stick for Remedy, man. You're going against one of the best teams in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they are the #1 seed for a reason. Again, we'll keep saying it, a team of veteran players, a team of decorated players. So you're going to have to really bring your A game if you're going to beat these teams, especially on a Sunday, especially when you're sort of backs against the wall. These are guys that have been there a million times in their careers, right? So they're a team that you know is going to show up, and they started off the tournament hot, right? That's a very, very dominant map 1.
Yeah, I think all around they played very well. DeToX again was lights out. That's going to be hugely influential, especially if he can continue up that energy. Again, you look at Dyslexic and how he can turn the tides for really any match that takes place. Man, Fire and Ice has been lights out because of him. So we'll see how this next map works out. That was Remedy's map pick, and now we're heading in to Old Men's map pick. It's going to be on Asylum. Again, another map that has a big fight on the tracks. Now, with that tracks fight, though, or at least with how Asylum has been working out, we typically see a 2v2. 2v2 is one duo is going to be up top on streets. The other duo is going to be on tracks. If I had to guess where DeToX is going to go, he's going to go to tracks, right? He wants to get that neutral off the rip. He's going to trust his teammates to overtake streets fight. But there's going to be 2 influential fights that are going to be taking place. And Old Men has members such as DeToX and Tidy who are just going to be phenomenal in those fights. So we'll see how it works out. Actually, off the start, it seems as if Remedy's going to go ahead and commit a little bit more. 3 members down low. We'll see how this works out. Old Men, can they hold on?
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that we learned from map #1 is that this map, Remedy's going to have to do a much better job on the initial. You cannot let Old Men continue to take control. And if you're seeing players dropped on each side, trades back and forth. It's like Old Men are beginning to move forward as 2 players go down. Dazed trying his best to get the revive if he can, but all 3 are going to fall. Another fantastic initial coming through from Old Men. They're moving that much closer over to the Remedy home hill. You're seeing Aches 1v1 against Demise, just trying to stay alive, but he knows he's going to get pinched as well. And once again, man, a clinical start coming through from Old Men. You're going to see tanks off the spawn, just flashing there, tries his best to get through, but he's just going to be drilled by this absolute firing squad that is set up around this hill. Players trying to go for the revive chain, being dropped left and right, smoke grenades, flash grenades, nothing is going to save them.
Throw it all.
And Ace, the last resort, he goes down at the 1-yard line. They're just dominant around.
It's kind of weird seeing Aches in Gears of War.
Yeah, I gotta use that one. I'm thinking my boy Patty P in the mix, right? He's switching games, doing a little everything.
World champ. It's kind of, yeah, it's taken a lot. It's just so weird to see it. But regardless, though, That didn't go well. It looked almost like training grounds, right? In that overlook fight, and it was a 3v3 on tracks, and hopefully they don't commit as much there. The DeToX will have an effect to some degree, but obviously for old men, it's going to be fantastic. For Remedy, I just hope they can kind of capitalize on this fight. But we'll see how it goes. You know, for Remedy, they got to change something up. I think it's in the day. Again, they just have to win their fights. And, you know, I'm looking at Red 9. I'm looking at Dazed. Like, these are the two guys that need to be leading the charge for Remedy, and they're not.
Like I said, the initials between map 1 so far and map 2 have just been overwhelmingly in favor of old men. You're seeing a lot of those kind of traded off downs come through, but it's been sort of that secondary wave that old men continue to win on both of these maps. Demise is going to get the first blood. There will be a trade. Thanks comes through with that Bull Talk. Tidy, and once again get the party started. You're seeing players that drop on both sides. It does look like, though, when it all settles out, I do believe old men still will get the better of this hill. We're going to see Tidy time that perfectly come through. They're actually on all 3 hills right now. This is going to actually be a trip cap. There was members dying on both ends. It's like Aches will be there off spawn, but much closer initial, I will say. In the end, though, you are going to still see old men with the 2 hills and with the lead.
Tidy, time it, like you said, timing that perfectly. The stun goes out, he immediately pushes in and gets the chunk. And that's just experience, right? That's just experience playing against the best of the best. Streets push underway. Remedy wants this overextension, and Demise is going to be at the forefront to try and stop them. But it seems that they're going to go ahead and back off and allocate their resources over towards Bravo, get that neutral in. Player 5 for Remedy, that's going to be Aches. He's going to stand back and try and stop, or at least call out if an overextension from old men takes place with Demise as well as DeToX. But Dazed is pushing in. The Lancer Fire is there. He's going to push Shock, but Shock clutches up, gets the kill. And Remedy so far away from getting onto B. Finally, they do get a touch. The back train comes in. And Shock's not going to push, just wisely so, but look at the lead already for old men.
And you can see that they do give up B, but are right over onto C already, right? So every time that even it seems like Remedy has sort of some life showing, right? Old Men is 1 step ahead. Now they still have that 2 cap. You're gonna have to see the rotation that Remedy chooses to make, right? They have to go for one of the hills. You're gonna go for your own. You're gonna go for theirs, right? You gotta make a decision soon because that clock is ticking.
DeToX and Demise are going to be on Charlie. They're trying to maintain Remedy's home hill. They know, okay, we don't have the neutral, but we can win our fights. They're very confident in that, and I think that was apparent from training grounds, especially in round number 1 here on Asylum. So they're going to stick it, and with B being neutralized, that's tough. And Shock winning some beautiful fights. Red 9 Demise, will it even help him? The 1-2 punch comes in. It's an awkward fight, but Shock gets it. It took a little bit to get there, but he was successful in doing so. And Bravo's locked in. Remedy just now getting A, but we know the writing's on the wall. It's going to be a 2-0 lead for old men.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a fight night over on the B hill. Shock, he throws a couple haymakers at him. Sometimes that's what it takes, right? Just again, like we keep talking about it. It's just been pure dominance coming through from old men. They have not slowed up once. You're seeing 3 of the players on only 1 death, right? You're going to see 1 on only 2. They've just been running around, having their way with them.
That's to put it lightly. Again, not the start that these Remedy boys were wanting, but it is what it is. Old men, they're not going to slow down, and Remedy's got some decisions to make. I think they're going to continue to build up. Well, actually, no, they're not. I thought they were for sure going to get their retro. They didn't want to fall behind, but they're going to place a Torque Bow in Streets. Fair enough. We still have 2 rounds during the first half. Changing up this initial could have an impact. Torque Bow, though, second half is going to be a bloodbath. We already know this. It already is a bloodbath with the neutral being an entrance, but with the Torque Bow being there, it's going to command a lot more attention. But this is pretty much going to be the fight. So this is going to be a good indication to see how second half is going to go regardless. But for Red 9, look at that little Russia's play coming in, getting the quick pick. You love to see it.
Yeah, they walks right in and walks right out, and you saw kind of the opposite of what happened in map 1, right? The first time around, they were losing the fight on you at training grounds and then put the weapon there. This time, you saw them starting to lose the fight out at tracks. So they put the bow on the other side of the map. That way they can try to switch the fight around, and so far, it looks to be working out a little better. You see them get the quick pick, you see them have control. DeToX is now in a pretty bad spot, and that opens them up to get B in a much easier way. You're going to see Shock taken out. Now they're in a 4v3. A much better start coming through from Remedy.
100%. I mean, is that going to work every time? I don't think so. Red 9's going to have to figure out a way to continue to get that quick pick, or at least take their time. But at least for this round, to bring it up 1-2 and to better their chance of tying it up in the first half, that's huge, right? Something I didn't foresee happening, but still a lot of rounds to be played, and let's not get ahead of ourselves. Remedy only has a 10-point lead, so still a lot of work to be done, and Tidy has that retro. And again, that retro hits so hard, and Dazed and Aches now pinned up behind the same cover. Not going to be able to push forward, but do they really need to? They already have B, so let's see how this overextension goes for Remedy.
DeToX finally taken out. That's going to lead Remedy right over to that C hill. Rep B, though, another fight is underway. It looks like this fight is favoring Old Men, so you're going to see, kind of like last round, those hills start to be traded off, but you're going to see Old Men instantly make their way over towards that C hill. Of course, they're down about 50 points and counting, right? They got to get on these hills soon. Obviously, a new Torque Bow will be coming up soon as well, and you're going to see Remedy realize that they are moving backwards, but now there's an opportunity for maybe them to go towards the neutral hill as well, right? It's going to come down to the game of rotations. Old Men is going to now have the 2 hills, but they are down by quite a bit. You're going to still see, though, the win condition is in their favor. Now it's going to be up to Remedy, who's set up very, very well for the next power weapon.
This next power weapon fight is going to be the breaking point, I think, you know, whether it be for Old Men or Remedy. For Remedy, they already have the lead. If they win the Torque Bow, all the better. But if Old Men just finds a way to break in, which, are they even going to go for it? Look at them going for the pinch. They give Tanks to Torque Bow. They're fine with that. Tanks wasn't that good with the Torque Bow on training grounds, so let's keep that in mind. But they're coming in for the domination. At this point, Remedy's kind of pinned up. This is not looking good. Old Men already has the win condition, and at this point, I don't even think the Torque Bow is going to help them. Look, they're all pinned up on their home hill.
Yeah, they got to make something happen soon. Tanks does get the first Torque Bow shot to connect. DeToX trying to just keep his head out as much as he can. He does connect in the second one, but that is going to take him out as well. Currently a 2v1 scenario now in favor of Remedy. Players are going to be coming off spawn. A big 1v1 over for this hill. And DeToX, despite being full red, wins. And Taylor, that's huge because now they can get the break on to that A hill. But time is ticking. Old Men need to hop on that neutral hill. If they don't hop on soon, that will be the round for Remedy. DeToX kills one. DeToX, is he going to make it a second?
No way.
Almost gets it done, but Tanks isn't going to land it. But I do think if they hop onto this hill, they might still have the win condition.
Nope.
No, the cogs, they will still have it. Remedy, all they need to do is hold their home hill. I don't think anyone's in position. What an ending to that round. DeToX almost made the hero play, but Remedy, Tanks, and Co. do hold on.
Wow, good job to Remedy for holding on. It started off getting that quick pick on the Torque Bow. Well done. I believe that was Red9 who got it, but man. All right, well, let's see what they do again. Again, you're not going to be able to continually get those quick picks. Rushies could do it. I don't know if Red9 can, but now it's up to, well, at this point, I was going to say it's up to Old Men. What are they going to place? But they're just going to build up their weapon trees per normal. They don't need to give up any of their advantage when it comes to those overall weapons. Talon and Boltok, though, is going to be on the other side for Remedy. For Old Men, they're going to have the Boltok in retro, so I think that's going to be hugely beneficial. Of course, off the start, it doesn't really have that much of an impact. The Boltoks might, though. We'll see. But what I wanted to say, Ryan, I mean, you saw the heroics Remedy had to do just to get that one round. Old Men still was in a driver's seat up until the end when Remedy was able to flip the script. But let's see how it goes. DeToX, much more aggressive start. He's filling himself. He gets to kill on Tanks, but he's not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, much better start coming through from Old Men. I think that quick pick definitely surprised them that past round, so you're going to see the very quick adjustment, and now they're going to be the ones who grab control of the weapon. DeToX isn't going to connect, but it's going to do some splash damage. Dazed is going to get one on the revive. Good stuff coming through, getting one on the way out. And this fight is still not over. You're going to see Tidy Boltok in hand. He's going to get pushed back, and his teammate is going to actually fall right in front of him. So Remedy, continuing to hold strong, are going to end up winning the initial despite some early aggression coming through from Old Men. They are seemingly much, much more positioned for this fight versus the Trax fight.
And going for a domination, something we haven't seen Remedy do as of yet. This is huge. If they can tie this up, go into the second half 2-2, which I think they're going to be able to do. Player 9's not going to be able to get a touch. So Remedy, against all odds, surprising me, and I know surprising a couple of you guys out there, tied it up 2-2. But what's impactful about this, Ryan, is the fight on streets. It's not really going to change. It's just going to be more of an impact, right? The neutral's going to be there. But for Remedy, they've been winning the Torque Bow. So therefore, theoretically, they should win the neutral as well. Remedy might have a shot here.
Yeah, it's going to change the mid-round a little bit, right? Because obviously you had the bow over at the same side, and then you had the B hill all the way over there. So the sort of mid-round rotations playing for power weapon versus objective is definitely going to be different. But you are going to see a snipe now place over on the other side, right? So you're going to see 2 precision weapons on each side of the map. Of course, the neutral hill has been shifted over to where the Torque Bow is. I'm curious to see how these teams break off. I want to keep on this overhead because it looks like you're seeing Remedy potentially going for a 2-2. Old Men are going to do the same. So a much, much different fight coming through on both ends. Remedy's tagged up quite a bit over at the bow. Red9's going to get the quick pick. The revive does come through. Good stuff coming through once again at the Torque Bow for this Remedy squad. We're on the other side of the map. It looks like you get to see who's going to come out on top. Red9's going to connect on one bow. That's going to put Shock in a tough position. Red9, a perfect full spread. Remedy looking very, very hot to start off the second half.
And more importantly, look at player 2. Tanks is going to be on the home hill of Old Men. You have that player who's isolated on tracks. Tidy, he just got to run back, but he gets lancered out. He gets taken down. Now, a couple of touches will come into effect, but the long shot also goes to Tanks as well. Remedy has everything in their possession to make this happen, but they don't have a DeToX. And DeToX will secure the home hill of Old Men. They will get to play out this route, but now they got to get through. They got to get through the long shot. They don't have the torque bow as of now. It was taken down, but regardless, though, we have seen how much of an impact the long shot can have. And on Streets Fight, it could make a tremendous play. So let's see how it works out. Aches, Tanks, what can you do?
Yeah, they're gonna have to put that utility to good use, right? Maybe get that smoke grenade in there, try to block off the vision of the sniper, because obviously this is a very narrow lane. You see Tanks connect onto a body shot. Looks like you're seeing Old Men still play this pretty slow. Still plenty around to go, right? They are down by a decent amount of points, but that neutral hill is still uncapped, so this is still going to play pretty slow. Their body shot coming through Tanks. As they start to move forward, you're going to see them starting to chop down the members of Old Men over at this neutral hill. That's going to give them that E hill, but you can see a player over on the Remedy home hill. That's going to be Demise. It's going to force him to at least turn around and buy his teammates some time off spawn to potentially give him an opportunity to take the neutral hill. Great play coming through from him, because you can see the two members of Remedy now forced back over, but Tanks, he's going to hit the headshot coming on the other end. Player definitely was not expecting that.
And from across the map too, right? Always blindside you whenever you get your head blown off from that far away. You're like, what just hit me? Good job from Remedy holding on. Again, Old Men has been known to pull a rabbit out of the hat, if you will, pull some rounds in their favor, but I don't know, Remedy is holding on for Dazed. Going to connect onto Shock. Red 9 does try to get the torque, but he's taken down. I believe he wasn't able to backpack it, so a big 1v1 now as Tanks needs to win this fight, but who is he going against? Tidy, my goodness, just rolled up, pulled up, and went huge. Locks in the neutral. 2 members for Remedy on the map, the rest trying to get up. And Old Men, they've got about 35 seconds, a lot of wiggle room to kind of turn the tide, but they have to get the home hill of Remedy neutralized. That is their only way to take the victory.
You're going to see DeToX get taken out as he picks up that weapon. That's not going to be good for Old Men as they have one final push. You're going to see Remedy also the Retro Lancer just to kind of chop them down. And yeah, you can see Taylor, they're not going to be able to get there in time. He's just kind of slowly playing that, just perfectly positioned, using that bull talk. And Remedy showing a lot more signs of life here on map number 2. They take their first lead of the series here on Asylum.
All right, Remedy got some new life. Now, I have been paying a little bit of attention to what chat's been saying here and again, and Emissives has been, kind of hyping up this Remedy roster, and he said Tanks and Aches are goated. They just need to get wild. And one of the things that he said before, something that I was thinking about right before I read that, was the fact that, in the beginning on training grounds, the first 2 rounds, they got absolutely ran through, right? Old Men destroyed them. Got it was less than 2 minutes in the first 2 rounds on training grounds. Third round, they ended up backing off. They didn't push forward, and they remained timid throughout that entire map. On Asylum here, once that torque bow was placed and Red 9 got the quick pick, it's almost like flipping a switch. Remedy is now playing a lot more aggressive, and they're taking the fights to Old Men. They're no longer timid, and Old Men, I think, was, like you said, they were surprised by getting that quick pick or, off the start with the torque bow. And now the fact that Remedy is actually fighting back, Old Men is now readjusting and trying to find a way, like, how do we battle against this? And they're kind of surprised, if I had to guess.
Target my mark.
Oh, look at this in Tanks. Snipe in hand. He's just waiting for someone to try to pick up that weapon. You got to imagine the communication came through from Old Men saying, do not pick the weapon up. There is a sniper in play. So you can see how much slower they're playing it. That's what happens when you have those 2 power weapons on the map, right? Even if one fight kind of stalemates up top, if someone wins on the other end, it's going to net them a weapon at the end of the day, and that can impact the other side of the map. Demise, though, is going to get in there. He is going to pick up the torque bow. He's not going to end up getting sniped. Shock's going to get 1 kill. Now things are looking much better for Old Men. You have the torque bow in their hands. You have Snipe over in the hands of Tanks, who's getting pushed back further and further. He's going to get aggressive, and that's going to fall. The trades are underway. The kill feed being lit up back and forth, but here comes DeToX on the back end, looking to make it 1, looking to make it 2 in usual DeToX form, and now Dazed, the last member alive. A much better start coming up from Old Men. They're already pushing on to the home hill of Remedy. You're going to see Dazed continue to just run as fast as he can. Destiny arrives all the same. He does end up falling.
Wow, that play from DeToX surprised even me. And now you have Demise with the torque. I think he only has one torque bow left, so it's not going to have too much of an impact. But Remedy right back in it. They're pushing straight into E, but Demise finds a cheeky angle, and I think his partner as well. That's going to be DeToX from the back. He's going to be able to Lancer out, and Old Men already pushing back those members from Remedy who are getting aggressive, but they're back on their feet. They got the pickups, and they were able to win the fight, so the neutral will now go to them. They're going to be able to close out that deficit, and they're setting up nicely for the fresh torque. The last torque, I believe, is now out of the way, so it's not going to have any impact anymore for Demise. Matter of fact, he drops off, and Remedy is starting to inch forward over towards Delta, and they now have Old Men pinched. This is a round they could take right here, right now.
You see Old Men still with a bit of a lead, but time is starting to tick. You're going to see Remedy just get more and more aggressive, trying to take this round right out of their hands, but here comes Old Men. They're going to get one, they're going to get two. Now Ake's in a very tough spot himself. He does end up fighting back alongside Red 9. It looks like Shock ends up actually dying to the train as well, so looks like the only two remaining players in the map are going to be on Old Men. They have some work to do, right? Someone's got to get that hill off spawn. They are going to break the neutral. There should be a new torque bow up fairly soon. This one's going to be close, Taylor. We're past the 200-point mark.
Oh, it's so close, and this is a huge round for Remedy. If they can lead 4-2, have a little bit of wiggle room to maybe throw out a couple of crazy strats, maybe Old Men gets around, but still they'll have the lead. It's going to give them newfound confidence to send it to a game 3, and if they win a map off of Old Men, it's going to be very telling what this roster can really do here. Ake's important fights. Tanks gets the snipe once again. Meanwhile, though, the overextension was in play. Tidy is now going to be on the flank, but it might not even matter. I don't think Dazed gets out of this. Demise, though, a couple of shaky shots will, in fact, connect once again. Remedy at one point. Oh, the snipe from Tanks across the map, and now he's going for a second, and he connects on the Tidy. Remedy just secured the victory on the back of Tanks, who connected on DeToX in the end. The man is nasty.
Man, and Demise had made such a big play winning that 2v1 over at the hill as well. But when he's least expecting, right, he's just standing still. He's thinking, all right, the fight is over. Tanks, he's going to get one, and he's going to get two. At that point, the round was already over, but just might as well put some icing on the cake. Beautiful stuff, man. These rounds have been nuts here on Asylum.
Oh, that flick was nasty. You see him readjust straight from the body to the head? I mean, that's just muscle memory. Good job, Tanks, for doing so. He's been the main guy to pick up that snipe. And he's kind of, I mean, he's been having an impact in the previous rounds, but those couple of plays, as you said, really didn't make too much of an impact. It was just kind of flash and dash at the end. But even so, that shows that Tanks, you know, much like Exploits or whoever, I'm not comparing them directly to Exploits, but the fact of the matter is, if you have a player who can rock the long shot, like Tanks just did, that can change the pace of the round tremendously. But on to round number 7. Instant is connected. Good job by Tidy for throwing out the Hail Mary and connecting. Aches now will get the long shot. Torque bow is in Demise's hand. So once again, we have one power weapon on one end and a power weapon on the other end, but which one is going to come out ahead?
You see the round kind of starting to be slow played. You're going to see each team looking for maybe a hole in the setup again with this 4v4, right? There's not as much lane coverage on some of these 3-lane maps. You have a lot of opportunity to kind of make a decision and then quickly strikes and come down to power up and play. You're going to see Demise start to inch forward to the neutral hill, but he knows the snipe is on the other end, so it's not going to be as easy as he thinks. He's going to hand out that snipe, and who else but Tanks, right? He's been just putting on a show with it here, and it looks like they are going to make their push. Tanks has some marks, knows where a couple players are. Now he has just a very, very narrow lane to potentially hit some of these shots through.
At this point, I mean, the icing, oh, Aches. See just his head literally just roll back to spawn. 7 will run through player number 4. And this might be where, yeah, I think Remedy's going to fall apart at this point in time. Old Men well underway. Actually, they're already getting the break. So Remedy is going to lose this round. Player 5, I think, is just a bit too far away to get a touch. And we're going to send it to a round number 8. Old Men still in it. It's 4-3, 1 round away from tying it up and sending it to a round 9. And for Remedy, Ryan, I think they got to use a disable here. They got to get rid of that ensign.
That could definitely help. Again, you don't want to give a veteran team an opportunity for a 4-4 for the match, right? These are guys, again, that have been here time and time again. This Remedy roster, they got to dig deep. They got to take this one. They did such a good job of positioning themselves with this lead. Let's see if they can send it to a map number 3. You're gonna see shock grenades on both sides. You mentioned the incense grenade. They're gonna go ahead and match it as well. So in typical Asylum form, a lot of utility to go up towards that fight. The only difference though is there is that snipe over on the other end. So both sides of the map really do have to be very equally respected.
100%. 100%. Let's see if Tidy can connect with that instant once again. Tanks is going to give it his all. Actually, he has an instant to his name too. So first one's going to be thrown out. I think Tank still has his, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he does. So he's going to try and get revenge onto Tidy. He does get a hit marker, but it's not going to have too much of an impact as DeToX will now lock in the long shot. But Torque, I believe, is still being fought for. It's going to be a little bit of a standoff up top between Demise and Red9. So we'll see who wins that engagement. For DeToX, though, he's trying to get a shot onto Aches. The snub will be enough. Tanks will get the pickup. And the pressure from Old Men will continue to push forward. It's a 3v2, so at this point in time, Old Men have a huge advantage as H does fall, but oh, wait a second. Big kills come in. DeToX connects on the body shot. He still has an opportunity to even up the odds here if he gets a nice shot, but he will fall. A good Trax fight for Remedy.
A beautiful play coming through from Dazed, man. Truly saved them there, getting that 2-piece and then getting the kill onto the power weapon player as well. I'm not sure if they're able to recover that snipe. I think he had a shotgun out. Man, that was a great start coming through from Old Men, but Remedy just took it right from them. Great stuff.
All right, Remedy off to a great start. They've got the lead, they have the objective, and more importantly, they've managed to get rid of all the power weapons. Would they like to have them in their possession? Of course, absolutely. But it's better to have them all neutralized than Old Men having one power weapon to their name, because that's just one factor you have to, kind of get through and work around, if you will. But it is Old Men who's going to be pressing forward onto E to try and get the break. Utility is going to be thrown out, and Shock as well as Demise are going to be dancing around. Shock, though, good kill over the cover. You knew that was coming into play. Shock will continue to push in. Aches will get the pickup, but I think they're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Old Men isn't going to slow down. They're going to continue to push in. Tanks is going to be on tracks, but he's already being lancered out, and I think this might be an Old Men round shortly.
Yeah, that's trouble coming through from Remedy because of just the fact that Old Men got those kills so deep onto their side. It's going to put them in a tough spot off spawn. You're going to see Dazed try to dance around. Tanks, he's going to fall as well. Now it's all up to just Aches and Red9. Red9's going to get one down. He's going to end up falling as well. Dominant mid-round coming through from Old Men. And Taylor, this is where things start to get spooky, right? You are the young team of Remedy. You start to build that lead. Now it starts to slip away. Over on the other end, you got four guys, the veterans, been there time and time again, done it for the big bucks. This is where you got to dig deep. This is where you got to come through and force us to a round three, because you already know the guys on the other end, they're not fazed by this.
Not at all. I mean, look, the reality is Old Men knows, okay, we were already down. Now we've tied it up. We've sent it to round 9. If we lose this round 9, we still have a game 3. And the way that we played Training Grounds, the way that we honestly played, Asylum, because they haven't been playing bad at all. Remedy's just kind of been playing a little bit better, winning those. I think the power weapon has had a tremendous impact overall. But regardless, though, Old Men knows we still have a game 3. But for Remedy, they know we need to win this round, and we still need to win an entire other map just to knock these guys down to loser bracket and move forward. So a lot of work still to be done, but of course you have to focus on the here and now. And for Red9, he's absolutely poised and focused. He's going to get a nice shot onto Demise. It goes in onto Shock. No worries at all. The neutral going into the hands of Remedy as Red9 will lock it in. And this could be over shortly. Look at Remedy going in with the pinch, but unfortunately Dazed will fall. Another great connection with the instant from Tidy, but the torque bow is there from Red9.
Yeah, I mean, Red9 really kicked that one off with just pure aggression. We talked about digging deep, right? We talked about not being timid. He just ran right through there and got a huge 2-piece to open the round up for his team. Big fight on the other end of the map. Takes, Hanks, and Aches, right? Takes, I'll call that's the duo at that point. Takes, get right through there, take them out, but got a little antsy, right? They started to push the players who are already pretty far off spawn, so Old Man is going to kind of just neutralize the fight, keep him down. Of course, Red9 has the torque bow in hand. He's going to lob a couple in there, get some splash damage. It's not going to be enough just yet. In the meantime, though, Remedy, they've already built about a 40-point lead and counting. The retake is coming through from Old Men. They've thrown the smoke to block his vision, so you can get a couple nice torque bows through the smoke, because there's just a swarm of Remedy players right there.
Ooh, nice connection, and that's going to stop the push or at least slow it down. Utility's thrown. It doesn't connect, though. Red9 wanted that poke, but either way, he's going to go ahead and get the finish, and this is it. Remedy should take this round. They're locking in the home hill, and Ryan, they've done it. What looked to be all over after that Training Grounds. Let's not sugarcoat it. It was an absolute beatdown, 5-1. But they have managed to send it to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. Remedy's run in this tournament isn't just over just yet. They don't want to go down a loser bracket. They want to secure their spot early in that first Pro League qualifier spot. Let's see if they can do it. They're going to game 3, but we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more action to be had. Welcome back, everybody, to the Split 2 Last Chance qualifiers. We are deep into round number 1 and going into a game 3 between Oldman and Remedy. I'm not going to lie, I didn't expect to be here, but Remedy woke up. After all, it is early for these gamers, but Remedy, not as timid, right? Not as timid. And because of that, they were able to get the quick picks on the Torque Bow, win those initials, and more importantly, just win those critical fights when need be. Tank stepped it up. Red9 as well. Dazed had his moments. Aches too. I'm really liking what I'm seeing, Ryan, and I gotta say, Oldman might have their hands full as we transfer into District.
Yeah, I mean, it's very impressive, especially after the way map 1 went, right? To bounce back like that and then win a very, very close round of 9 as well, right? So usually a lot of young teams, right, when they get rolled over like that, they'll get down on themselves, right? They'll start getting toxic in the comms, whatever it may be. They bounce back just the perfect way, and now we find ourselves here on a map number 3. It's everything you want to see.
It really is, right? I mean, again, after Training Grounds 5-1 the beatdown, you know, at one point, you know, we saw a 4-0 lead for Old Men. I'm thinking, they're just lights out. But right there, Tanks with the snipes. This play was insane. And he had many more like this, right? Red9, again, getting the quick pick on the Torque. And that opens up the discussion now as we do transfer into District. We'll see how the first couple of rounds goes. And I think at this point, you know, Remedy is going to definitely track to see, okay, do the rounds go as smooth as we want them? If they don't, we now have a backup plan, and that backup plan is to place down a power weapon, whether it be in Cinema or on the opposite side at Bandstand. And this is the thing. I have full confidence that Red9 or Tanks will be able to win those fights. We'll find out. But hey, Remedy at this point, I think they have the momentum. I really do. And I don't necessarily want to say I'm favoring them, but Old Men, again, they're not playing like we expected them to play.
No, I mean, they have a ton of momentum coming off of, again, a giant round 9 victory. You're going to see DeToX over on the other end kind of slow them down at B. You already see they're coming out much more confident than we saw them on Training Ground, right? You can see almost like the body language, how timid they were on map 1. That's seemingly been entirely erased, right? You can tell the confidence in their gameplay. They're starting to move together better. They're starting to shoot together. It's going to be a good one.
They're already going in for that domination. Of course, Old Men does alleviate that pressure as Tanks and Red9 will fall. Tidy will also get the cleanup in green, so he's going to be able to Lancer over onto Bravo. And Old Men at this point are really going for it. You see player number 2, Shock, is already going to be on the home hill of Remedy, trying to lock that in. Tanks will have to challenge that position. Meanwhile, though, over in Cinema, Daze has his hands full with Tidy. Mind you, Tidy has been playing very well, but so has Daze, so this is really a toss-up as to who takes it, but it seems Tidy is going to get the better end of the bargain, and he's going to get that break onto Bravo as well. But Remedy in the mid fight, they're winning it too. So Demise, he'll be able to you know, keep up that pressure, but he's not going to be able to do much. Already, Remedy is going to be on A.
You see the overextension coming through. Old Men, they did see it coming. You saw the angle coming through. Red9 taking a very low health. He's going to fall alongside his teammates, so a very good hold coming through from Old Men, but they don't have the neutral hill just yet. You're going to see DeToX make his way over towards the home hill because they know that 2 members from Remedy are over at the neutral. Now they're starting to get the decap onto C. They're starting to get the cap onto B. At the very least, this is going to erase that time lead that Remedy has built. They're going for the whole trip cap. They want it all right now. DeToX gets the kill on the 1-yard line. Old Men pick off the tiebreaker right.
All right, so there is 1 round to their name. It's a bit shaky at a certain point, but hey, they got the job done, and that's what matters. For Remedy, though, they showed a lot of promise. They were very aggressive off the start. At one point, they were threatening a domination, and, you know, they just got a little bit overwhelmed. They could have backed off of it, but they committed, they made a decision, and they stand behind it. So we'll see the DeToX come into play on both ends. And for Daze, he's going to go ahead and put it up top, and that leads me to question, do we see maybe a Cinema placement a little bit later? Because normally when they start stacking up top, they want to fight that Cinema fight for the Torque or for the drop. So that could be a possibility, but it could be the same for Old Men as well over in Bandstand. But we'll definitely find out as we are well into round number 2. Let's see how this mid battle goes, Ryan.
DeToX gets some early Lancer fire, and Red9's going to be tagged up quite a bit, but he manages to stay alive as well. The team's kind of just trying to feel out the positioning, feel out exactly the move is to be made, and it looks like Red9 and Co. They're going to make the move for the overextension right away. Demise is going to be there. DeToX. We get some very good team fire coming through, but the revives are there. Now we have a fight over towards C. You're going to see at least 3 members from this Remedy roster making their way over towards the C hill. You got to make a move soon because you're giving Old Men a lot of time to react, right? Whether that's going to be to fight for the hill, whether it's to take the neutral. Now DeToX going to just completely tag them up. Start to move back, but there's a flank. This is going to be enough. This pinch is going to take down at least some of the attention of a couple players. But Old Men trying to withstand. A lot of trades coming back and forth right now. Numbers do favor Old Men as well. Looks like they have done enough to get their home hill back for now, but here comes Tanks. He's going to take down Shock. Trades once again are going to be underway. In a very, very back and forth fight we go, but Old Men do seem to be the ones to come out on top. And Taylor, look at Tidy behind enemy lines. They have no idea that he's going to be there hiding. The second they make their play for that neutral hill, he's going to hop right onto that home hill. Now that puts him in a tough spot.
I am shocked that Remedy was that aggressive on that hill. Again, I thought they were wasting too much time, much like you alluded to, and they absolutely were. But for them to push up as far as they did, I was shocked. And they could have gave up a huge advantage there. But in the end, they managed to take it back in their favor. 20-point deficit, but still cutting down on it. Tidy's going to be in that 1v2. Again, he was the one who went for that overextension. He was successful in doing so, at least to get the neutralization. But bit of a misroll in place, and Tidy gets one. And honestly, that was all he needed to do. At this point, Old Men still have presence on A, and that's going to be with DeToX. So now Red9 has to push through him, and DeToX has been playing so very well. And you can see the movement. He's getting closer and closer. Red9 trying to back off. Good spread, but what? Red9 gets the final 1-2 punch in onto DeToX. But Old Men still has Bravo and Charlie, so a lot of work still to be done from Remedy.
Yeah, we're seemingly just getting trades back and forth, right? No definitive wipes on either end. In the meantime, though, Old Men have continued to push that lead further and further as we get closer to that 200-point mark. You're going to see Remedy once again making a play for that home hill. But Old Men, you see they're ready, right? Look at that team fire coming through, trying to get that revive chain off, and now DeToX on the back end just has a great angle onto him, trying to take him down best he can, but DeToX at full red still manages to knock down both, still manages to take them both out. And now as we cross the 220-point mark, this will once again be a round for the COG team.
You mentioned individual skill, how much of an impact it has in 4v4, and DeToX is right back at it again. From training grounds now over towards district, if they can't shut DeToX down, if they keep allowing him to win those big 1v2s, those big 1v3s, it's going to be lights out, and we're going to see some trouble from the Remedy side. 2-0 down. Now, this is where Remedy makes a decision. Do we place a power weapon like we did on Asylum? It worked then, and it might have a chance to work now. Of course, they will fall behind. They're not going to have the talent. They're not going to have, the ensign, whatever, of course, Old Men is going to have. So at this point, they will be behind, but it might be worth it just to change up that fight. And it looks like they are going to place it in Cinema. I think this is the best play. It worked, again, it worked on Asylum. That Red9 tanks were able to secure it. But again, DeToX is going to be the factor. If they can shut DeToX down, I think Remedy might have a chance here.
All right, let's go!
We're going to see once again some power weapons. Very, very impactful, I have a feeling, right? Especially on a map like District where there's a lot of just very narrow lines of sight down the middle. Until they start to come through, DeToX is going to try to play back a little bit, use that Lantern, not just try to jump right in there. The quick pick is underway. Red9 is going to get it. He has a little bit of health, and it looks like he manages to stay alive. DeToX, though, does end up getting the down, and now you're going to see a chain revive start to come through. Aix is there to help his teammate. He falls as well, and you're going to see Old Men begin to collapse. Beautiful stuff coming through. They don't lose a single member. That's going to be 3 down for Remedy. Another great start.
Yeah, they committed a lot to Red9 getting that torque, and rightly so, but Old Men found an opening, were able to get behind, pincer them in, and Remedy really had nowhere to go. Now it looks like the domination is coming into effect. A wall of Remedy members pushing in. Tidy's going to be at the forefront, but one after the other will fall, and Remedy will lose this round. 3-0 up for Old Men. We're going into the last round of the first half, and at that point in time, Red9, I think, could have got out of there, but it was really important for the back members from Remedy to hold their own, not allow Old Men to press around right through the neutral and then to get on the backside of Red9, and I believe Tanks, who was trying to help him out and pick him up over in Cinema for the torque. So at that point in time, if Remedy holds their own, I think they're okay. But that round is telling, Ryan, is it not? I mean, at this point, Old Men, I mean, they're looking good in all regards.
Yeah, I mean, the same way that we talked about sort of a bounce back, right? We talk about how Old Men is a veteran team, and in the same way that they can just shake off a very, very close round 9 as well. And here on Tiebreaker, man, they've been making it look easy. The teamwork has been fantastic, right? You're seeing a lot of good pinches, right? A lot of just very good patience more than anything, right? Waiting for a teammate to arrive, to take a 2v1 fight together, to make it a 3v2 fight, whatever it may be. Very impressive what I'm seeing. And again, what we probably expect from a team like this roster.
All right, here we go. Red9, nice shot up close. We'll take down DeToX. That's the member you want to take down. He should have a path to get out. This Tidy will in fact, drop as well. And Remedy's going to be off to the races. They're going to try and get onto C as quickly as they can, but a little bit of a backtrack, as it looked like a discussion between Aches and Dazed, like who's going to take the neutral. And that's going to put them at a little bit behind, but either way, it seems like they're going to be okay. Red9 is going to take over this position. Now, the only play they have to get through is DeToX. That's the only one stopping them from getting on the Charlie. But you got a couple of fights that need to be won. Number one, DeToX needs to fall. And then, of course, you have player 4 who's also pushing over for the neutral. But DeToX wins the fights again. He is the factor. And now Remedy, they've got to stop this push. And Red9 is being pressured. That's not the guy you want going down. He has the torque.
And he ends up getting a misroll in there, and he's going to fall as well. And you just see DeToX, man, just continuing to get two-piece after two-piece. Does not matter what map it's on. Obviously a very individually skilled player, and he's showing it here. Dazed, trying to get it done. Actually catches Demise on the roll as well, and another huge play coming through from Dazed. Dazed has continued to save rounds for this team when things are looking bleak. They're going to continue there, too. He's not stopping. He's still alive.
Phenomenal work from him, man. That might have just shifted the momentum back into the favor of Remedy. Obviously, they have the lead. Now it's about stopping that third push from Old Men as they're going to recuperate, get their troops back into the mix. But that was a play that was massive for the side of Remedy, and that's what Dazed needs to do, right? The veteran, if you will, for this Remedy roster. At least he's been on the Remedy since the beginning of the Pro League qualifiers for Split 2, so that's why I call him at least a veteran on this roster, per se. But overall, Remedy has put themselves in a good spot. They do not need Old Men to get at 4-0.
No, they definitely do not want to go down 4-0 on a map number 3 to a momentum team that's been there before. So Dazed continue to hold this down. You're going to see the push starting to come through. And Remedy with a very, very large lead. So really, Old Men's win condition right now is just to kind of pull that final push out and make this at least a trip cap. Looks like so far so good for the COG team. DeToX gonna get the kill. They're on all three hills. Taylor, is anyone in position to get on B? Don't tell me they're gonna do it.
Oh no!
And that is a heartbreaker for Remedy. All they had to do was hold on for just another probably 15 or so seconds, and you see both hills getting hit at the same time. DeToX makes a big play. They win the secondary fight, and I'll be honest, Taylor, that's probably the series right there.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's over with. We might see a round here or there for Remedy, but that kind of takes the wind out of their sails. And you know, it's got to make Dazed, you know, feel pretty bad. Like he pulled off some massive heroics only for DeToX to come in and do it better, right? To do it better and allow his team to get that domination. Again, DeToX is the factor. And in this 4v4, when it comes down to, you know, huge individual plays, DeToX is making those huge individual plays. And now you're down a Boltok, and you're also down a Shock as well. You have the Instant, which is going to be great for the Torpo. Let's not discredit it, but Old Men, they've got the utility. They've got the lead. It's just looking bad. It really is.
Yeah, like I said, things are not looking good right now for Remedy here on map 3. They got to basically be perfect from here on out. They want to move forward into the winner's bracket. Tidy's going to get the first down and the first kill. Tidy's going to make it a second one over on the Red9 before being traded out, but now a 3v2 advantage in favor of Old Men. Haven't got that weapon just yet, as Shock does finally pick up that Torpo. So now you're going to have numbers advantage. They're going to have power up and advantage. Of course, the hill is on the other side of the map, so that does change up sort of what happens after that initial. They slowly make their way forward. You're going to see Remedy just spread themselves out. You're going to see a couple players over towards the home hill, a player in middle, a player over at the neutral. It looks like Old Men starting to do a little bit of the same. They're ready.
Remedy's got to hold on here. This is where they've been kind of falling apart, right? Old Men has been breaking through the defensive setups of Remedy pretty much time in and time out. But they can get this neutral pretty much uncontested. That's going to be huge, and they do. So Aches locks it in place. Old Men didn't even challenge it. Now I'm kind of curious what their game plan is. I think they think that Torpo is going to have a massive impact, and it very well could. But to give up the neutral, basically without a fight, makes me think they have a plan B in mind. As they're setting up now for E. Let's see if they can get this break.
I mean, they have the weapon to do it, right? So it's going to be about getting some of those marks, right? Using that communication, figuring out where the hole is in the defense so you can strike. And again, they have that Torpo that can push members out because of the splash damage. So you can see Shock realizing a player's in there, is trying to start to push him back. Of course, that bow's not going to connect quite where he wants it to. He's actually just going to put the weapon away, and they're going to move straight forward. Shotguns in hand, Red9. He's going to try to play some defense. He's backing up. The first down comes through. Tidy, he's going to try to finish him off, and he ends up falling too. Good defensive hold coming through from Remedy and Red9. The break is going to be underway. DeToX going to continue to move forward. The wrap shot's going to miss. Red9's going to get one. Red9's going to get two. That's 4 down. Beautiful stuff.
And he basically did it all by himself, albeit the Lancer Fire helped out on that first initial 1v2 push. But now Remedy puts themselves in a situation where they can finally take a round. Again, they got a lot of work to do. But that was huge from Red 9. And first it was Dazed, now it's Red 9. If those boys can continue to play like that, they'll be okay. But again, it took a bunch of heroics. Here's the play once again. This was the first 1v2. Red 9 ends up getting tidy. Shock, I believe, was down just a little bit earlier. He's full red at this point, manages to stay up and get the chunk onto one, and the second. And that situation was old men just stopped playing their numbers correctly. Bottom line, period. They didn't get the chip damage. They didn't get the trades. They were just going in full steam ahead, trying to go in for the chunks. And Red 9 ate them alive. Granted, it's 4-1. It's 4-1 at this point. But Ryan, I mean, it's plays like that that just makes it exciting to watch some of these rosters.
Oh, absolutely, man. Again, it's still a big uphill battle, but those are the plays that can start to really, try to shift momentum, try to do something, right, to get some let's goes in the comms, get the positivity going, because again, still plenty of work to do, but a beautiful, beautiful play coming through from Red 9. Now you're going to see frag grenades on the center line, so a lot going on this map right now. Big initial coming through. We'll see if Remedy can continue the momentum, or if Old Men will finish this one off. You're going to see some smoke grenades come through, so you're going to see the players be a little more timid. Dazed gets the first blood with that insend. He's looking to make it another two-piece. Again, him and DeToX have just been the human two-piece shows all day long. Hiding another end. He's going to get the trade. Looks like another fairly slow start, I would say, on both sides. A lot of just kind of trades back and forth.
Like you said, that is like they belong in a freak show, like a traveling circus. Like, look at the human 1v2s. Shock gonna fight himself over in blue, and he's got a 1v2 up ahead, but they're gonna go ahead and back off. For Remedy, though, what changed the momentum on Asylum, right? It was winning that Torque Bow, a couple of big rounds, and they just had the momentum. And now it looks as if all hills are going to be neutralized, at least at a certain point. Remedy still has their own home hill. And Old Man's got a lot of presence onto E, but they're not comfortable taking it as of yet. They know Tanks is going to be there with the frag. He's going to throw it out there now. Tidy drops here. That's going to be big. He doesn't. He gets away. But either way, they had to evacuate E. So still, E is up for grabs. And Oldman doesn't feel confident enough to take it. And now Remedy has the numbers. It's a 3v2, and this is a fight they can win. Torque Bow connects on Demise, and Remedy should be able to get the neutral at this point. Now they're going to be on F2.
You see Tidy in a very tough spot, getting hit from all angles. Shock is going to be there. But yeah, they're on all three hills right now. Two of the players are going to be stuck in middle. Numbers advantage will still be in favor of Remedy. DeToX trying his best to fight off that final hill. He's going to fall. Demise in a tough spot. Dazed hits a beautiful full spread. Another trip cap underway for Remedy. And again, so they had to be perfect. We said they had to have an uphill battle. They're starting to climb it a little bit.
Woo. All right. So Old Men, you said they've been there. They're the veteran team. But now I pose a question to you. Are they a team that gets frustrated with themselves? Because, and Blaze loves to say this, right? Or at least he did, a couple seasons ago, was the fact that, like, sometimes your worst enemy is yourself, right? And whenever you start losing rounds that you shouldn't think or shouldn't be losing, or you think you shouldn't be losing, you start to have a little bit of inner turmoil, if you will, amongst the roster. Is Old Men, could they fall? Right there. They already blocked the torque. They said, enough is enough, man. We're losing this fight too many times. Let's get rid of it. But do you think Old Men are going to be able to stay poised, stay composed?
I think they can. This is a team, again, that's been there time and time again, and you're going to see Remedy catch some momentum. At the same time, though, all they need is one more good round in the next three, right? But Remedy, they're looking strong. They're not going down without a fight. You're going to see that Torque Bow being blocked. We'll see how that changes the map around. DeToX is going to get tagged up quite a bit. They put some counter fire back onto Tanks. Both players are hurt. Demise gets the first blood, but it looks like the trades are here, and the trades are so far in favor of Remedy. Tidy trying to get one on the way out. He's going to be surrounded. Just to get one.
Nice.
Not going to be able to on the way out. Taylor, Remedy, they're really looking strong.
And the big thing here is the fact that Old Men just used their disable to take out the torque. That means Remedy's going to have their disable, which is going to be absolutely massive. I think they use it in the next round if they win this round here. D will, in fact, be neutralized. Remedy backs off. That's a smart decision. They lost player number 9 of Aches, and now it's all about setting up defensively. You've got a 30-point lead. Don't get over anxious. There's no reason to be in a rush to secure these rounds. Let it extend. Let Old Men make mistakes. And Remedy at this point, they're going to set up very nicely, but my only concern is they might be in a bit of a mismatch, 3v3 onto E, and at this point, Shock and Demise, they're ready to overtake Bandstand, and the one trying to hold them back is going to be Dazed, who could make some heroic plays. Tanks needs to get that chip damage as they push it onto Dazed.
Two different members of Old Men with utility in hand, so they're going to have to use that make their push forward. Tanks is going to miss a couple DeToX shots. That's going to give Shock the ability to take control of this positioning, but a frag grenade is going to come right through Tanks. He was there and he was ready. It's going to stop Old Men kind of right in their tracks, and that's going to give Remedy the continued push on that time. They're already crossing that 160-point mark. Old Men hasn't crossed the 100-point mark yet. A great hold coming through from the Swarm.
And that was a great frag, right? Because Old Men, what they did is they placed a Shock back to shut down that exit point. They wanted to isolate Dazed over in Bandstand, but he ended up getting out. And the Shock at that point ended up isolating one of the Old Men members, and the frag ended up connecting. There was just nowhere he can go. It's either a Shock or a frag. You take your pick, you're going to go down either way. Little extra love being shown there as Remedy starts to really feel themselves, and this is a round that I think they're going to be able to take. Player 5 Tidy, he's going to be on the home hill of Remedy, but on the other end, you have Dazed taking over the home hill of Old Men to continue that 2-1 hill advantage. And this should be it unless player 4 can make a heroic play. And you also need player 3, but player 3 does win his 1v1. So DeToX will be able to retake the home hill, but player 9 is already there taking the home hill of Remedy. And I can't believe it, but the comeback is here. If Blaze was casting, he would have already called this when it was 4-0 in the first half, okay? But he's not here, and he didn't call it. But either way, this is happening. This is really happening.
Inch by inch, round by round, that's how you make these comebacks possible. You saw the disable being used on the Torque Bow. They still managed to come out and take the round. And Taylor, it makes you wonder, right? You saw obviously what happened to Remedy on that 4th round. Imagine if they just didn't hand that round away, what the score would look like right now, right? The shoe being the other foot, you'd have actually probably a 4-3 Remedy lead. So they're getting closer and closer. Again, still plenty of opportunity here for Old Men. They still are on that 4th round mark. We'll see what they do. We'll see how they maybe make that adjustment, change some strategy around. Because Remedy, they're starting to pick up momentum. You can see the body language as they move around the map. You can see the teamwork. You can see the speed in which they're playing at. Old Men, they got to come out swinging here.
And no disable comes out once again, so Remedy's going to have that, I believe, going into round 9. Unless I missed it and they used it a couple rounds before, but I believe they still have it. And because Old Men disabled the Torque, they were able to catch up. So Remedy is right back in it whenever it comes to the overall weapon utility on the map. But Old Men, 1 round away. That's all they have to win. Is it going to be this round, round number 8? Well, Demise is going to lock in those frags. It's going to be massive in the instant kill potential, but Tanks gets the Torque Bow, so you take it for what it's worth. He's going for this push, and he gets it, but that could have been risky. Shock, if he would have popped off takedown Tanks, that would have neutralized that Torque Bow, but he gets away. The frags are now gone. I think Dazed gets a little bit splash damage, but he's going to be okay, and Remedy's got the OE in place, so they're going to have the 2-1 hill advantage.
That Torque Bow being revved, Tanks not going to connect. He's going to be taken out. Good play coming through from Old Men to take away the power weapon. So despite them getting the weapon early, really didn't have much impact here on our final map. You're going to see that neutral hill capped, obviously in favor of Old Men. You're going to see that home hill being capped as well. And here we go. Tidy's going to get the kill. He's going to get the revive. Now they're starting to inch their way forward. It's a 4v2 advantage right now in favor of Old Men. Tanks is off spawn. Old Men, they're going to get the break. Trip cap is underway. Players are getting tagged up from both ends. Can anyone touch the hill, or is this going to be it? One player tries, he goes down. Other player, he's going to be down. Taylor takes his only member off. And I think Old Men have finally closed it out. A valiant effort coming through from Remedy. They made that one close. They made it exciting. But again, they put themselves in just such a deep hole. It was a matter of time before Old Men closed that one out.
You know, they lose it, but I mean, still, now they drop down to the loser bracket. They still have a very real chance, and speaking in regards to Remedy, they have a very real chance of becoming a pro caliber team, or at least a pro league team in general. Old Men takes that victory, but it was close. Like you said, it was very close, albeit Training Grounds is just a total blowout. But regardless, I think Remedy shows that despite Hefe not being on the roster, despite making those roster changes with, you know, Tanks and Aches coming into play, they're still a talented roster who could make a deep run in this tournament. So well done from them. But for Old Men, they do move forward. An upset doesn't happen, but it does show that this could be a lot closer of a tournament than we were expecting.
Absolutely. I fully expect to see this Remedy team make a run through losers. Again, a very, very good performance from them on map 2 and map 3. So not the last we're going to see of this team, I think, coming here on the LCQ. Old Men, they do move on. You saw DeToX, man, the man of the match to me. He was just making play after play for this squad. Dazed on the other end had one hell of a series as well. Boys and Old Men, they do move forward. Our #1 seed does live on.
Number 1 seed does live on, but at a certain point, it was very real. It wasn't easy. There was a time where I was like, hold up a second. Remedy might be able to do this. I mean, Red9 made heroic plays. Dazed made heroic plays. Like, these guys were popping off left and right. And those are the 2 members I expect to pop off. Again, when it comes to Red9, when it comes to Dazed, that duo, those 2 have been on the Remedy roster since the beginning of Split 2 when it comes to the Pro League qualifiers. So I expected them to do fairly well. But for Tanks and Eggs, you know, coming into it, Tanks, you know, we've seen him time and time again, but Eggs we didn't know too much about. But he played well. He really did. And at a certain point when Tanks and Eggs were sticking together, running as a duo, I must say they were a formidable opponent to deal with, and they were pulling off great plays. Let's not forget Tanks with the long shot on Asylum. Come on, he was lights out. He pulled off some phenomenal shots. He put on a show. Overall, they do drop down to loser bracket. Again, Remedy is a team that I expect to cast over them later on in the day.